How are we all? Welcome to At Home Comic on day 3. I mean,
What-
by the time this ends over here, it will actually be Monday. So technically, we can say we did a 3-day con.
Ay, Dios mío. Okay.
By the way,
Um,
Drake, before you get the idea, we are not doing a 3-day con next year. I want to make that clear.
Okay. Listen. 2 days was perfectly fine. Very enjoyable. Um, okay, with the closing panel, like last year, we are going to take some Q&A from the audience, figure out like what we did well, what we can improve on. Personally, from my perspective, yeah, I think 2 days was good. Having one big long mega day, boy oh boy, was that exhausting. It's like, at least yesterday we wrapped up the show. I was able to go to my dad's 50th birthday, watch The Matrix. Pretty fucking rad. And then
Are they two separate things, or is that what you did at your dad's 50th?
that's what we did at my dad's 50th.
Oh, awesome.
He rented out a theater, and he wants to rewatch all the Matrix movies before 4 comes out. So I bought him the trilogy on Blu-ray. And man, what a great movie.
You should have all gone in like leather dusters and the thin sunglasses.
No,
all got flip phones.
I got rid of all of that in the mid 2000s because boy, did I not pull it off. Neither did Ben Shapiro. Have you seen those pictures?
I don't want to talk about him on this stream. This is not what we're here to discuss.
Come on, I'm a big political YouTuber. We know this.
Yeah, you are basically Comic Tube's answer to Hassan Abi, so we'll give you that.
Thanks.
I'll let you decide whether that's a good thing or not. But yeah, I actually quite like the 2-day format. I thought there was part of me that thought going into it might end up being more work than we kind of expected it to be. But I actually like, don't get me wrong, I'm a bit tired now, but that's because it's almost midnight and I've been working since 10 a.m. trying to get all this going, as I did yesterday. But I actually think like having the break in between and not doing like one super long, I think last year we ended up working like a total of 14-hour days, the three of us. And it was like, I remember the next day just being absolutely kind of just broken.
And actually, before we get too far into things, Owen, you have been the real MVP of organizing all this. I know that Matt and I have both had to take on lesser roles for At Home Comic Con, but you have really stepped up and getting everything organized and getting just making this a wonderful show. So thank you so much. You have been incredible during all of this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Owen. You've been an absolute treasure.
I know what that means in politeness, but I'm going to overlook it.
Dude, I'm Southern. You would know if I'm being mean to you.
That's true. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, for one reason or another, kind of people's times are split. I've also had a lot going on. Turns out trying to do a PhD isn't an easy thing to do. Who'd have thought that? But I'm glad we managed to put all this together. Like I said, I had help from lots of awesome people. Chris, who's in the live chat right now, massive help putting the RPG panel together.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to give him credit for coming up with the idea of that and kind of me and him workshopping the details of that. And then once we brought Scott into DM, everything kind of took off from there. And it's a real shame Chris wasn't able to take part. Obviously, bringing in Jim and Tulok was great. I thought that panel was awesome.
Yeah, what a great panel. Definitely.
I do
definitely
just want to, while he's watching, just say, thanks, Chris, both for like the generous donation you made yesterday and also for helping us put together what I think was one of the best panels this year. And hopefully, next time you can be involved yourself.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the RPG panel make a return, especially since Scott already did a lot of the legwork in establishing the superhero universe. I think it'd be great to see some little bit of payoff, bring Ghostburger back. I think that everybody would really enjoy that. And honestly, it's such a good concept that we can rotate people in and out. And another good thing about there being the 2-day convention is that not everybody was able to make the certain days. I mean, we still had people pull out the last minute through sickness or work conflict, which is totally fine, totally understandable. Thankfully, we had enough guests. We could still keep everything going. But having the 2 days did make things a lot more flexible for everybody involved. And so, yeah, I think next year is going to be bigger and better. Still 2 days, obviously.
I agree. Like I said, during the course of putting this together, there were a couple of guests that had to drop out due to scheduling issues or personal reasons. And again, there was a couple that had to be moved around and panels that we kind of wanted to do, but then couldn't do. I think in the end, we did a pretty good job of everything, just looking at the lineups and looking at what was kind of executed. I think not to kind of pat ourselves on the back too much, but I think we did a good job.
Absolutely. And over $3,000 raised. I mean, obviously we've had to lower our goals a little bit. I think our eyes were a little bit larger than our stomachs. Obviously, we had less people restream. A lot of that was due to we've moved over from Google Hangouts to Zoom. It did make things a lot more easy in terms of getting things organized. But unfortunately, Zoom does have issues with the backend for a lot of people on streaming.
Yeah.
So We did not anticipate that. We found that out the day of, after we had already gotten everything planned. So for next year, we're going to try a different alternative and see if we can get that going. But obviously, while the At Home Comic Con YouTube channel is the hub for everything, obviously a lot of our viewers are coming in from our much larger channels, and that's where a lot of the donations were going. And since we had less people restreaming this year, that brought us to a smaller audience, smaller amount of donations, but any amount raised is incredible. So it's great that we got over $3,100. Obviously, this is the last panel. We still are going to keep things running. So if anybody wants to donate, please feel free. We'd love to. It goes to a wonderful cause. And also, we're going to be keeping the donation button open for a bit longer, because I know that Tulok is going to be promoting it on one of his upcoming videos. I know some other people are also going to be promoting At Home Comic Con, either from uploading their panels. But yeah, feel free to keep donating either today, tomorrow, whenever.
Yeah, if anyone's watching this now and wants to throw a few dollars or pounds or whatever strange currency you have, and wants to ask us a question while we're streaming, feel free.
Throw some rupees.
There's yeah, why not? Some francs. I don't think that's legal tender anymore, but hey, it's got to go somewhere. There's a saying that one of my favorite musicians, Frank Turner, who during COVID did a series of live stream gigs from his house, raising money for different venues across the UK that were like struggling financially. I think he did like 25 of them in the end, and he raised like over £100,000 for these different venues across England. And during those streams, he always said that no amount of money is too small to make a difference. And I'm just going to steal that from him. So
you could have just taken all the credit for it.
No,
I wouldn't have known.
Look, I've met Frank twice. I bought tickets to see him in February. I want to give the man his credit. He's probably not watching this, but you never know. You never know with YouTube.
Folks in the chat, what was your favorite panel of the show? What did you enjoy?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah,
Comic Tropes Chris is in the chat also, and says maybe next year it'll be safe enough for everyone to form a human pyramid. In-person Comic-Con coming.
I
soon.
feel like it did cross my mind at one point, like, what if one day we did an in-person At Home Comic Con? Then I remember that defeats the point. But then I thought about it more. I'm like, what if we just do it at someone's house? It's at a home. What if we buy like a shared house like Big Brother, and we all just live in that and do Comic Con there?
I did accidentally rent a mansion one time. We could do that.
Why does that not shock me?
Okay, it was only technically a mansion. It was one of those like McMansions where like it's just large, but it legally met the requirements of being called a mansion. The reason why it was so cheap, because I got it was one of the cheapest things on Airbnb. It's because there was no heater in the middle of December. Because I didn't think to check on the amenities that a heater was available, because I thought that was just a given. So it was very cold, and we were just taking turns putting blankets in the dryer and handing them out.
Okay, maybe we won't do that, but maybe we also won't host Comic Con in December.
That's fair.
Comic fan
at home Christmas Con.
Yeah, why not? Why not? We can talk about Christmas comics.
Sure, but I hate Christmas.
Well, Bah Humbug.
No, all of my Christmas hats do have Bah Humbug embroidered on them. So whenever I have to go to one, I very explicitly make sure that it's known that I have two. I have one in red and I have one in black.
Diego says we're all welcome to cram into his tiny New York apartment. So yeah, that sorts it. We'll all fit in.
The authentic New York experience.
Thanks, Diego.
Drake, don't get the hats. Oh, he's getting the hats.
At least he's not getting the weird Marvel erotica like he did last year.
That's what this con was missing. Drake, if you can hear me, get the erotica. I can't hear me. It's a lost cause. Let's see. We've got people saying they really enjoyed the superhero RPG.
Me too. I really enjoyed that. As someone that's kind of a novice to role-playing games, that was something that I'd kind of really taken a vested interest in helping put together. Obviously, with Chris and Scott, and then Laurent, Eric, and everyone else that was involved coming up with their brilliant characters. But that was really a panel that I kind of really wanted to get off the ground and make work. And I'm really proud of how it turned out.
Mm-hmm. Lots of votes for Comics Academia also, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, Comics Academia is fantastic. It's my favorite panel every year.
Genuinely. I thought last year's was awesome. I genuinely thought the presentations this year were so solid and so varied as well. I genuinely thought there was like such a good array of topics for people to talk about. Everyone presented it well. We had a nice mix of kind of professional academics like Michaela and Danny, and also kind of showcasing some smaller creators that are doing, I think, some of the best stuff in our space right now, like Doug, Cole, and Mel. So I like how that panel is both like a showcase of the more academic and more kind of research side of Comics Tube, but also kind of a showcase for channels that are on the up and kind of deserve a bit more spotlight.
Absolutely. Like, pretty much everybody that we have at Home Comic Con is just a fantastic YouTuber through and through. And one thing I really love about this convention is that it really doesn't matter the size of your channel, as long as you're producing quality content and that you're, a good uplifting person, then you're totally welcome here.
Yeah, it's great to have, of course, the charity that we support. I love doing that. And it's fun to bring entertainment to everyone too for a couple days. But it's also a lot of fun to make new connections between channels, people that may not have known each other very well, and suddenly they're on the same panel as one another. And like they get, I think about the RPG panel had like a very diverse group of people on that maybe most of them hadn't crossed paths before. So that was great. Make some new friends. I only made a couple new enemies. It was really good.
Proud of you, Matt. By your standards, you did really well this year.
Yeah, I'll make up for it on Twitter tomorrow or something. It's totally cool.
Just post something dumb.
Just do what Drake did and just make a really silly comment about Spider-Man fans.
Yeah, Spider-Man Twitter is the easiast way to make friends.
Drake, are you still being cancelled about what you compared the Spider-Man fans to?
Probably. I don't pay attention as much.
Record, the views and opinions of Comic Jake do not reflect the wider views and opinions of At Home Comic Con.
Yeah, honestly, I've just been really horny about Undertale on Twitter lately, and that's been kind of taken over instead. So that's been pretty solid. But yes,
I tweeted a mean thing at HBO Max today. And that's the best numbers I've done this weekend. They shared a National Comic Book Day thing, and it was The Big Bang Theory, and I just told them to delete this.
Bazinga!
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. That should do us for this panel. A few people in the chat have asked about next year bringing back the Get Pitch Quick Scheme panel that Nando hosted. I will tell you that originally we were hoping to do that. That was something that I was talking to Nando about and starting to put ideas with. And talking to a few guests that were going to come on and do it. Fortunately, like I said, we had a couple of scheduling issues with a couple of guests. Nando was one of them. He had to kind of graciously bow out. But hopefully next year, Nando said if a date works, he's more than happy to come back and do it. And I think we'd be more than happy to have him. I loved that panel last year. And I love working with Nando. He's great.
Yeah, and to pull back the curtain a little bit, one thing that I am a little bit worried about with At Home Comic Con is that it's going to be the same show every year. Obviously, we had a lot of returning panels, but I'm glad we had a lot of new ones as well. But I do think that, while it wasn't great that Get Pitch Quick had to pull out, it's going to be great to see it return. Like, that was obviously one of the most fun panels. But yeah, we want to see a big diversity.
I kind of think that, like, once we lost that panel and once we were kind of one down, that is something that kind of, and especially once Chris kind of floated the idea to me, that was something that made me kind of really want to pursue doing the RPG panel.
Yeah, and I think the double-sized panel was also...
You're just going to put different hats on every time you come back on frame.
Sorry.
I was trying to no sell it, but I couldn't.
I was trying to, but then I saw the fucking sailor's hat. My hat collection is way too big.
Everyone donate to Drake's Hat Fund, please, and thank you.
No, don't donate.
All donations will be redirected to Drake's Hat Fund.
Do you want me to go get the rest of my hat collection? It's extensive.
I feel like there's no other answer, but yes.
There's no con is complete without Drake going into the back and grabbing.
Drake, is it in a different? Are they in a different room?
No. You see, behind the green screen is my prop closet. It's all my costume pieces.
Fine, get your silly hats.
All right,
I'll entertain the people.
But no, okay. I was gonna say before I was laughing at my own stupid joke that the RPG panel, like it being double sized, was also really solid. I mean, yeah, it took up more time on day 2, but it was exactly the time that needed to be. They were able to wrap it up really well, and obviously, whenever I gave them the 10-minute warning, they were able to just smite the bad guy right at the last second. But it was also like in the middle of the fight, so it made perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, they did a really good job at keeping it. I think like an extra hour probably would have been overstaying its welcome, but yeah, absolutely. And also with Scott streaming it the entire time, we were able to get so many more donations, and especially that super generous $1,000 donation, definitely the highlight of the entire con.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the donation list earlier during after I finished up my roundtable panel, and I think he donated like a couple more times as well. So
yes, he did.
He did win an awesome prize. Very well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, a lot of the generosity. I know Chris donated quite a bit. Diego donated as well. Everyone that did. But
yeah, and a lot
everyone's generosity continues to kind of overwhelm and astound me.
There were many people that donated, and any small amount helps, and I think it was really awesome to see. So yeah, I really I think it's just great to see that, people coming together for that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but yeah, as Drake is getting his hats, any other thoughts on the convention? Gonna
Does
look
it
at
shock you that Drake has a hat collection?
No, not at all.
That
No.
just feels like a thing that he would have.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't bat an eyelid when he said, "Should I go get my hats?" And now look, he's shown up with like 20 hats, and I'm not at all surprised.
it's par with the personality, I would say. It's good. And there's one thing I appreciate.
Hats.
One thing I appreciate in a person is consistency with character. And the hats.
Totally I have my hats.
Is that consistency with character? Is that how like I dramatically change my appearance every time I'm on screen?
Yes.
Hey, dude, I'm loving this new look for you. It's looking real good.
It's called Dark Academia.
Ooh.
Was that Knights of the Old Republic game?
No, it's a bad boy, Owen. He's in his
Larson
Spider-Man
indie book.
All right, let's put him on. Put on that.
All right. So this is a new edition. This is
for every hat Drake puts on, can people send a donation in and rate the hat out of 5?
New donation every hat. Great. All right, so this is my tricorn hat.
Or even if people in the live chat want to kind of give thumbs up or thumbs down.
Oh yeah,
if you like the hat, put Y. If you don't like the hat, put
rate
N.
rate my hats. It's so fun. I fucking hate hats, but I
know this is meant to be a family's con, but it is midnight here, so I'm gonna
okay. That. Let's see. This is from when I was a weeaboo. When I was a big fan of Bleach, I used to cosplay as Kisuke Urahara.
Chris has asked if you can put all the hats on at once.
Oh yeah,
I do have many photos of me stacking them. Fortunately, I have too many at this point. They do fall.
Well, how many do you think you can get on?
Oh, okay. I'll go through them and then I'll try to stack them.
Oh wow, it's Sheriff Woody.
Yeah. Well, so as everybody knows, I'm from Texas, and so all of us are legally required to own a cowboy hat. So there's that little howdy partner. This is whenever I go to the pool. I have my little beachy hat. I like it a lot.
Cabana Boy Drake. Yes.
Thank you very much. This is a fucking wild story about. Sorry. What? Yeah. Okay. Listen, I swear like a sailor.
It's not me that's dropping the F-bombs. This is incredible.
Every time I swear in my videos, people are so surprised. But little do they know is that I have such a foul mouth. I just don't want to be demonetized.
That's what's funny about me. I've never sworn in like an actual like scripted video because I script so thoroughly and write them properly.
So this is
whenever I'm like
LED fedora
off script, I swear like a sailor.
Do you say it's an LED fedora?
Yeah.
Can you turn it on?
No, unfortunately, it has broken. But I won this at a party, and so yeah, all the mechanics inside broke. But yeah, it was a neon blue fedora. It did work for a little bit. Similarly, I went to a gold party, and this is my golden fedora. This is how I'm at max level.
No man should own multiple fedoras.
For my Riddler costume, I have my Riddler bowler cap, so that's pretty solid. Also to go with that, I've got my regular black bowler cap.
Okay.
Let's see. I've got my beret. So whenever I need to be a hipster, very important.
Your sweet comic Drake.
That used to be, I was going to wear that for when I did my Unpopular Opinion series. I was going to dress up like a mega hipster.
Or a Frenchman, both work.
This is, so everybody knows that I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. You can see me without the stupid beanie on. This
Jughead Jones.
My friend crocheted me this Team Skull beanie from Pokemon. Cool. I'm very happy with that. This is the black Bahumbug hat I was talking about. So everybody knows that I hate to be at Christmas parties. Don't invite me.
Serious
Otherwise,
business.
I will be.
I invite you. Don't worry.
I will vocally complain at all times. This is my Black Panther winter hat. I got a little T'Challa on there. Similarly, I've got a little Batman. Keeps my ears warm. Got my favorite Mario character as voiced by Charlie Day. I have this World of Warcraft. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. Yeah, we've already seen my captain hat from a murder mystery party I was at. I have two separate radical 80s hats, 80/90s. So
I was gonna say that's definitely like in the early to mid 90s.
Well, so I do dress in very 90s aesthetic now, but yeah, I got this bad boy at Spirit Halloween the other day.
How do you do, fellow kids?
This one's my favorite. I got this. People were handing this out at a convention. This says Jesus is my BFF.
No, actually, it
to
says
know.
Jesus.
It's true.
It's just some guy.
It's my buddy Jesus. And then I think last but not least is I
Shout
actually
out
really
to,
like this.
Any Jesuses in the chat. Hope
Oh,
you're doing well.
This is my reversible Daredevil and Punisher beanie.
well, first I was gonna say great, and now I'm gonna say canceled.
Yeah, so basically it's just my Daredevil beanie because I don't like the Punisher.
I was going to say the thought of any man walking around Texas with a Punisher beanie does scare me a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I almost forgot. I have an entire collection of these mini sombreros from when I first started my YouTube channel. One of my first videos was me not being a fan of Deadpool. So I wore this tiny sombrero and a fake mustache the entire time. I didn't call attention to it.
Diego asks if there's any Spawn hats.
No,
Got any Spawn hats?
no. And
I would rock a
I didn't wanna
Spawn
get shut
face
down.
mask. Like if anyone did like a Spawn themed face mask, I would be interested in that.
surely they have.
Or it's just like chains everywhere. That works too.
That'd be great. Instead of little straps, it's little chains around the ears.
Yeah, man.
Well, you really burn through those hats. That's like a lot of hat content. Like you can do like an hour-long video about your
I
hat.
guess,
but
I
just-
guess
Oh.
we can.
Y'all missed out on this video I never ended up releasing to the public, but I ended up getting my hands on 2 collector's edition of DC socks. And so I did an unboxing of
That
them.
would have done so well for the foot fetishists out there.
Well, I didn't put them on. I just showed them. I do not have good looking feet. My wiki feet doesn't even exist. So that's all the thing. But yeah, no, I ended up donating those to charity instead.
What
video?
pictures of your feet?
Well, I mean, I put on Patreon and then yeah, all the socks went to charity. Fun fact, socks are one of the most in demand but less donated things for the homeless.
That's
So
true.
it's actually very important that you donate clean socks.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Help help the less fortunate. Just taking some questions from the live chat while Drake puts his hats away. Someone suggested an idea for a panel next year looking at video essays. Maybe get a panel together of different video essayists
That'd be
and
great.
talk about kind of the tricks of the trade and how there's more to video essays than getting film clips from YouTube and adding some lo-fi hip hop beats under it. Beats me if there's more to it than that, but
No, that's about it.
I mean, I love my lo-fi hip hop. I also forgot about the flat cap.
Okay, interesting.
Looks
Yeah,
great.
no, that could be a good idea. Like we've already had like quite a lot of people over today and yesterday that are kind of video essayists and are very good video essayists. So that could be something to think about. Yeah, sure.
Could be fun. Maybe
Um,
do a live edit. Just start.
you know what?
start
Do you
the
want to know an
train,
idea
start
I've
the
always
edit
wanted to
and whatever.
do? Perform a video essay live.
How would you would like edit? You're trying to like put the panels together as like it's going.
Or maybe just do it as like a PowerPoint with like preset animations, but then like play the music that's under my narration live and try and like do it in one take. I don't think it'd ever work.
You could have
It's an idea I've had for years, and one day I want to try, but then I can't stream a Zoom call properly. So
you could have people on stage like like with big blown up versions of the panels, like move them over, so you could have
moving
like
them in and out like a Ken
Yeah,
Burns
like-
effect.
exactly move them in, move them out, giant ones, enact everything. You could have like a stage show of the video essay live for everyone instead of it being on the screen.
Oh, since we mentioned foot fetish, Alex from High Tops in the chat.
He's in the chat. It's good stuff.
Oh, he's been
Good to see you,
summoned.
Alex. Hope you're well.
Well, yeah. Oh, and I think you really could do it with like a PowerPoint or something and then just edit it later. So you just have like the keyframes. Because like Mel at New Comics, he did his X-Men Krakoan language last year, which
Beautiful. That was
he
beautiful.
then he edited that into a full video.
He did. And it was a
Or
great
he
video, too.
re-recorded it, but it was more or less like verbatim. So you could easily just put that together. Also, Munji, no, I'm sorry. The Infinity Crown actually got destroyed when I was moving the set around. So that no longer exists.
What is the
shame.
Infinity Crown?
So I decided that I was really going to try to lean into the King of Comics brand because I had the throne. And one thing that really bothers me is that I had the throne since day one of Comic Drake, and yet nobody ever mentioned it. I thought it would be a lot of fun.
I never understood what the throne was in relation to your gimmick.
It's just a throne. I just want a throne.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I'll try to like spruce it up a little more. So I was gonna do the King of Comics, and so I made the Infinity Crown, and so I got each of the gems and I put it on each of the points. I had it 3D printed, and I wore it for one video, and then I put it on the throne. But then I had the Infinity Gauntlet on my set, so I had to take that off in order for the continuity to make sense.
Would you say that you're the king of comics in the same way that Budweiser was the king of beers?
I'm about the same quality, yeah.
Well, your videos don't taste like they came out of a dishwasher, so I'll give you that.
You should try like tasting my videos sometimes, and then you will find out that it's about the same.
If you can burn them onto a disc and kind of put them in a sandwich, I will try that. A few people have suggested in the chat doing a more like an artist-focused panel.
Yeah, that was actually something I played around with at the beginning of last year's At Home Comic Con, is that I was thinking about running a separate stream that would have been like an artist alley, because one of my favorite things about conventions is going and seeing all the different local artists, and there's a bunch of amazing fan artists out there that I think would be great to get a spotlight. The only thing is that would require a whole separate stream, and my computer can only do one at a time, and so I actually, for context, the reason I'm looking all over the place is because I have my main editing computer is just running the convention to make sure that it's running smooth, and then I'm actually recording myself on the laptop. So that would require me to get a whole second computer set up, and then trying to run both of those at once would be difficult. But I would love any opportunity to let artists to have a spotlight on here. And also something that I was talking to Owen and Matt about in the chat before this panel is that I would love to get a lot more Webtoon creators involved. As I mentioned in my recent Wayne Family Adventures video, I'm a huge fan of Webtoon. I think that it really is going to be the future of the industry. We've seen it really, really take off. And I think getting some professionals from that community would also just be a great addition.
Yeah, I agree. A few people in the chat are bringing up that Chris from Comic Tropes does drawing streams sometimes as well, and they're always really good. I was really entertained by them, and I know there's quite a few of the big comic artists who are on YouTube as well that tend to do a few kind of art streams. I always enjoy those. It's definitely something we can look into. I'm sure there's a way maybe we could make a panel work.
What if we did something kind of like Morning Drawfee, where we get a bunch of artists in a collaborative session and they kind of all work together? That'd be a great way to feature multiple talent in one thing. And if that goes well, we could look into expanding that more. Because again, I would really like to have a dedicated art stream. Probably not so much like a day of the convention, but some way.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think it's definitely something we should look into.
We should actually have a document for future ideas.
I will set up the AHCC 2022 planner.
I started building a website during the last panel. So
yeah, I saw that. I saw it was in the AHCC account. I saw a Gmail notification of like your Wix subscription. And like, oh no, Drake, no.
It does not look good. I'll tell you that.
You up with a Squarespace link.
I can also get a Squarespace, but here's the thing: I love Squarespace, but that free trial they give us expires after 6 months.
Just well, maybe they'll sponsor me again, and then we can get another 6 months.
Is that how that works? They didn't want to sponsor me again.
No. I'm still waiting for Surfshark to get back to me. My VPN's expired, and I don't want to have to pay for it.
Oh, just get one of like the 5 other VPNs that hit you up, like, because I've swapped VPNs so many times. So I just get that free year. It's great.
That's a good point, actually. Jay from Fancy Teeth's in the chat. He was actually working on a website last year. So it might be worth getting in touch with him and seeing kind of maybe you can kind of collab on it slightly.
What I like about this closing panel is that it's a peek into just basically how we talk to each other behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah, Drake puts loads of hats on. I try and be serious, and then Matt just kind of smiles in the background.
Owen and I, we end up having actual discussions about At Home Comic Con or about video collabs, and then we end up just shooting the shit about various comics for way, way, way too long.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either, but
well, you're entertaining, my dude.
You gotta buddy up with the big creators, I guess.
Okay, so where's Benny? Let's get him in the stream.
He was on yesterday. I spoke to him yesterday. It's fine.
Fair play. Oh yeah, Owen's also been teaching me British slang whenever we meet. So
how's that going? Please don't say anything terribly offensive.
So many of my friends are now using chuffed.
Okay.
All of my friends are proper chuffed.
Just wait till you get Rogered.
But so I went and saw my bird the other day. That girl's right fit.
I don't think I'd use right fit.
How
'Cause
about
it makes it
ticket?
sound like she's like a type of jeans. Proper fit would be.
Oh,
How about
okay, proper fit.
how about
Well-
tickety boo?
Tickety-boo.
I'd say bird is derogatory. You should treat women with respect, Drake.
Is bird derogatory?
I wouldn't call a woman that.
Okay, I
Well,
thought it
that's
was.
because-
I thought it was like a chick.
Well, that's because I think it's important to call people by their actual names and not just words you've made up for them.
Okay, but to be fair, like the words that make up for my girlfriend are like incredibly obnoxious, so I have to keep that behind closed doors.
Well, this is why you get dumped after every con or before.
It's before every con. Thank you very
Are you
much.
still
This
on
is
airplane mode? Speaking of which,
what?
Oh no! Terrible news.
What do you mean? Oh, she did message me. Okay.
Oh, don't read it. Don't read it yet.
I can't believe we're having a live breakup on At Home Comic.
Wow,
I
what
thought
an
the peak. I
exclusive.
thought the
What a
peak of this
scoop.
would have been Hat Home Comic Con, but this is amazing.
I thought you were joking about how the last girl I broke up with before the Watchtower thing was a flight attendant. Every time a plane flies over and I'm in the middle of recording, I curse her name.
That sounds healthy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that Rainier Wolfcastle thing from The Simpsons, where he's like Mendoza. That's
Yeah.
what I'm visualizing it.
That was my curse going into the video game panel.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
man.
shame Xavier couldn't make it. I hope he's doing well.
Is his fan base okay?
They'll be going strong. Let's not say
Okay.
anything too mean. We are on YouTube. Luke O'Connor gives Drake some advice. He says, proper fit, well fit, or dead fit. They are all terms you could use.
Dead
But right
fit?
dead fit. Dead meaning very.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I would say
yeah,
At Home
there's a
Comic Con
lexicon.
has been dead good.
Okay. Is there a British alternative to good?
Boss.
Dead boss.
Dead boss. That's more regional to where I am.
I think I'm gonna get like hit by the FBI until I realize I'm my own boss.
Random Stranger suggested doing a bracket tournament for some sort of future panel. I like the idea, but then I remember what DC did when they did that bracket for a new comic book, and I thought that was pretty mean.
What if we
So
did?
I wouldn't want to put people's ideas against each other.
Yeah, but
Not
what if
publicly, at least.
what if we did like a March Madness for the MCU, and it would be like a debate panel where people would just like try to decide, and like even the audience of like what is the best MCU movie. Now, obviously, at this point, we have way too many movies to
That
keep
wouldn't
into a
be
concise bracket.
toxic in any way. I can't
No.
believe I drew the who is the best Spider-Man card and no one got death threats. That's pretty impressive.
Oh no,
But, yeah.
the video hasn't been public for long enough, and Spider-Man Twitter hasn't found out.
Once it
I'm
gets
glad
clipped-
that High Top came in after I'd asked that question. That would have been a really awkward time for him to jump in.
I'm gonna write down the Marvel March Madness on my random sticky note. I like that idea.
It's funny. After we did the opening panel, I was chatting with Patrick, and we did mention one of the questions I never got to ask in the opening panel. That was going to be my big end tough question for everyone, which was you can only keep one. Who's more impactful in comics, Alan Moore or Grant Morrison? And then I was going to kick anyone that said Alan Moore, despite the fact I love Alan Moore, and I'd say that's probably the right answer. No one can say mean things about Grant Morrison in front of me, because even though I didn't address Matt's comments yesterday, I thought I'm not going to signal boost such silly remarks. I am the bigger Grant Morrison fan. I'm closer to him.
You were ducking me.
I'm closer to them. So
I'm sorry, but you were ducking me on Twitter. It means you're scared.
look, we go one-on-one.
You got a 50-50 chance. Let's not start.
But I'm a genetic freak, Matt, and I'm not normal. I'm Bron Breaker's uncle.
Which
and these
mage
jokes that
has-
maybe two people will understand.
Wishmage has a great suggestion for a panel of queer representation in comics. I think it'd be a good opportunity to feature creators on the LGBT in the community.
I will say with that, our creator roundtable, both the guests on that were LGBT
Which
creators.
was fantastic. My only
Yeah.
worry is that I definitely don't want to tokenize our guests and make them
Yeah, of
feel
course.
like they need to be in this panel. But it is a great opportunity for marginalized communities to get that representation and to talk about these wonderful characters that, let's be real, they do get the shaft way too often in Marvel and DC, and they're only really pulled out of the closet for like, okay, we need to sell our Pride book. And I think that's pretty tacky, and there are plenty of characters that don't even get that representation. So yeah, it'd be good to talk
I
about
would
them.
say just talking about the roundtable panel as well. I really enjoyed. Obviously, I've worked with Tim Sheridan before. You know, we've spoken a couple of times. He's a great guy. And when I did the interview with him on my channel, when I did the Superman of Tomorrow video, he was very insightful about how his own experiences growing up in the LGBT community informed the way he told Superman's story as a kind of coming out story, which was really interesting to me. But then talking to Josh as well, and him talking about the United States of Captain America series he's working on, and how the version of Captain America he created in issue 1 was devised to be a gay character, and what it means to him as an LGBT creator to create a version of Captain America that represents him and so many other people. He was talking about how that character's found a lot of love in the trans community. Lots of trans men really relate to that version of Cap, and I think that's such a powerful and wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, what else do we got here?
Someone in the chat said Grant Morrison has never been on The Simpsons, so do they exist? No, but Grant Morrison, I think they were in the Simpsons comic. Obviously, Alan Moore did a cameo in Simpsons with Art Spiegelman.
Post-season 10 Simpsons, though.
So it's not canon.
It's actually worse than being on The Simpsons. Let's see, what else do we got?
Digital Jedi Master says comic creator rap battle.
If there's one thing we know about comic creators, they all look like they can rap.
Give me a beat.
Are we getting the soundboard out again? I'll get that.
All right, come on, Matt.
Saxophone back.
You can't make me do that.
We're not comic
blowing out your
creators.
speaker.
I just talk about the Ultimate comics and people watch them. I'm thinking maybe I should start a new channel called Ultimate Owen Likes Comics, and it's the exact same, except I've got a goatee.
Oh, I'd love that. It's like the Mirror Universe.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I would have to record those videos in bulk and then wait for it to grow out again. So I'm working on it.
We had to do that on my Discord because I accidentally deleted the entire chat log, and so we've since rebranded it as Ultimate Comic Drink Discord.
Mopey's just saying that they're getting off for the night. Mopey, thank you so much for your kind of help modding over the last 2 days. It's been wonderful and genuinely really appreciated. So
yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much to all of our wonderful mods.
Yeah, definitely. Get some rest, take care, and thank you for all the help.
Diego says next year should be a panel where 3 of us are doing trios in Fortnite, which
it's never going to happen. I don't know what a Fortnite.
Today is Fortnite.
Ignore the PS5 behind me. I do not do a gaming.
It's Fortnite's 4th anniversary right now. I'm definitely gonna play with my girlfriend as soon as we're done with this panel.
There's only one game I will play live, and it's when I eventually drop out of all my jobs to become a speedrunner. And it's Simpsons Hit and Run, the greatest video game of all time.
Oh, you just have that right there. It's From Hell and Simpsons Hit and Run right there.
What more do you need? I am genuinely convinced I could finish that game in less than 3 hours on stream.
Okay, yeah. Well, what's the speed run for right now?
I don't know.
Let's check it out.
I at least think, with a bit of practice, I at least think a first try I could get it down to 3 hours.
This is how you really level up your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, full game leaderboard.
Mayan 1 2
This is where it's like 45 minutes somehow.
Mayan 1 2 3 7 wants
you were not
another British impression from Drake like last year.
Nope. Listen.
He did say he was proper chuffed and right fit, so you got that.
Yeah, but he wasn't saying it with the accent.
I'm dead, boss.
You are you?
No, but yeah, Liquid Wi-Fi has the world record for Simpsons Hit and Run for 1 hour 19 minutes 53 seconds.
Oof. There's gotta be it'll be like the Vice City speed run where there's like a glitch in the game where you can kind of like skip levels. Because weirdly, I went through a phase of being really obsessed with GTA Vice City speedruns. The speedrunners on that have a trick where you can kind of double up missions. So you do one mission and the game thinks you've done 2. So you can kind of skip certain missions that like more time consuming. So there might be something like that in order to do the game in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you were going to, an hour and a half would still be pretty up there. If you were to do it in 3 hours, that would make you the 291st fastest. If you did it
in the top 250, I'm not interested in anything.
Yeah, so if you did it in an hour and a half, that would put you at 35.
Okay, well, I've not got much going on at the moment. I can focus some efforts into my my Simpsons Hit and Run speed running.
Let's see. Fancy Teeth says the numbers don't lie, guys. They spell doom for both of you at Sacrifice.
I think we found they spelled disaster.
Oh, that's true. It is disaster. Dang. He's got like less than a 33% chance of winning after that.
Man, this disaster.
Fancy Teeth knows, so he's not even going to try.
Of course. Let's see. Snapper Review says, hey everyone, glad y'all did At Home Comic Con again. Definitely a highlight of last year seeing some of my favorite YouTubers come together to talk comics. The question is, what is your favorite Green Lantern?
Guy Gardner.
Alan Scott. Why not?
I'll go with John Stewart.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with Alan Scott, but I'm gonna say Earth 2 Alan Scott. That always struck me as a really cool character.
Man, yeah, I read through that for the Steppenwolf video, and it was way better than I thought it would be, and then it got really bad.
Yeah, pretty much up to World's End. The Earth 2 series, like whenever James Robinson and Tom Taylor are writing it, it is awesome. It's one of my favorite New 52 books. Maybe there's a thing with me where I just like the weird alternate universe stuff, because obviously I've made my reputation now as the ultimate comics guy, and now I'm also flying the flag for Earth 2. But no, like Earth 2 Alan Scott is such an awesome character. And obviously there's the HBO Max Green Lantern show that Alan Scott's going to be in. And by the sounds of things, it might be a bit closer to that version of the character. So that'd be fun.
Man, World's End was just awful.
Eric has asked when Matt and myself are going to start a wrestling podcast. I have been saying for months, Dynamates, the podcast, it could be a thing. If I ever talk wrestling on the internet, I'm only going to talk about AEW because I want it to be fun.
Okay, hear me out. So we get a new wrestling video game. We build a bunch of custom characters that
Drake,
look like superheroes.
You don't know the mess you've caused by talking about new wrestling video games.
Okay.
The last one was that bad that I'm playing a game that's 3 years old.
So we let it, but we put them all in a Royal Rumble. So they all come in and out. Last man.
No, Drake,
King
it
of the
won't
Hill.
work. If the game has more than 4 wrestlers in a match, it crashes.
Okay, well then we'll get one that's like 5 years old, and we'll do a Royal Rumble. We'll build all these characters, and then you guys can just commentate.
Okay, I got this.
Yeah, 2K19, perfect.
Yeah, 2K19 is still good.
Yeah, and we'll have like Batman and Jughead, and it'll be great.
Yes, they are my favorite wrestlers, Batman and Jughead.
No, I'm saying we'll build it customs. It'll be great.
You can download them. I guarantee someone has made both of those.
Yeah. So
I was searching the community creations on that game recently, and I found a really poorly made, I will admit, but it was still a made version of Saddam Hussein. So,
what if we put let's put some comic creators in there too. Let's put like Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Jack Kirby, and then have them fight too.
Because I'll have to like boost Morrison's stats because they can't lose because they're the best.
Yeah, they'd be able to like teleport, shoot lightning.
It'd be like at the end of the Matrix where Neo's just kind of like blocking all of the fights from the agents.
It's a good idea.
Eric would rather see us have a ladder match. I want to know whose custody we're going to be fighting over. Is it Drake's?
It's custody of Drake, of course.
Wait. So ladder matches are about custody?
Well,
what?
Only one time.
So at SummerSlam 2005, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had a ladder match where the winner got custody of Rey Mysterio's son,
Dominic.
Okay. What about the large chicken that they had going for like an entire season, and then it hatched into this chicken man that just started
Gobbledygooker?
Gobbledygooker,
yeah.
Do you know that happened the same night the Undertaker first showed up?
Yeah, they pulled him out of a coffin, right?
Yeah, there's a fun story on one of the documentaries about the Undertaker where they get to the day of the show, and obviously it's their big debut, and they see the egg on set. And so Taker goes backstage and he bursts into like Vince McMahon's office, and he's like, I better not be coming out of that damn egg.
Dude, if it had hatched into the Undertaker, that would be significantly better. But like the moment my roommate told me about the Gobbledygooker, I'm like, okay, this is just comic books, isn't it?
Yeah, especially WWE in the 90s.
It's like I explained to you off stream the other day, Drake. Wrestling is just live action anime.
Listen, I almost went to go see the New Kids on the Block perform at Haltom City. I got so many of my friends like, this sounds awful and incredible. Let's go.
People are just naming silly wrestling stipulations in the chat. And now I have to explain to Drake the premise of the Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
A forklift match?
So there was a wrestler in WCW, which was a wrestling company that went out of business for being not very good. And they had a man called Buff the Stuff Bagwell. He wore a top hat and he did a little dance. And he wasn't very good. And he had a match where his mother, Judy Bagwell, was raised on a forklift.
Raised? Oh, okay. Wait,
she was stood on the platform of the
forklift.
Okay,
I thought she was born on a forklift. And I was like, all right, well, listen, not the worst origin story I ever heard.
I mean, this is the same company that I think the same year put the legitimate world title on David Arquette. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if we do a podcast, you want to have a second, you just explain this stuff to me because like this is wild, dude.
Well, it was because David Arquette starred in the movie Ready to Rumble, so naturally they put the actual world title on him.
There were some very bad booking decisions in WCW for most of the second half of the 90s.
That's why it's not here.
Yeah, tough times.
But at least we've got AEW with
Wild.
Cody and the gang.
I heard they're going to be hiring Vince Russo soon to take over creative.
That's what they need. That's what every anything that could have a writer needs to have Vince Russo. That man's genius.
Iron Ninja said Comic Super Hunger Games. So there is this game that I downloaded called Ultimate Arena, and I have made a comic book mod of it, where like it's just a bunch of different comic book characters. You can write little catchphrases and stuff. But the thing is that it's just an overview of the entire map, and everybody is represented by these little pixels, and then it just has like a ticker that explains like, oh, Batman just karate chopped Deadpool, and it's not good. It's fun to watch sometimes, just throw it on in the background, but if they've updated it, that could be interesting. I put everybody's like favorite catchphrases in there too, so they would just like randomly yell like I am the knight and hell yeah.
The two famous Batman.
Well, Kite Man obviously was saying hell yeah.
I think you'll find Batman's isn't I am the knight, it's I'm the goddamn Batman.
Well, that one actually does have a rare percentage of showing up. You can set the frequency of how much they say their catchphrases. It's great. Catwoman just says meow sometimes. But actually, for Halloween, I am going as Kite Man. I've been building that costume for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing a video on Batman's dumbest villains while dressed as Kite Man. The only problem is that the tights that I ordered are one size too small. So I will be...
Well, I mean, you'll be filming from the torso up. You'll be fine.
Okay, so fun fact, my Booster Gold costume also is a size too small. And so every time I've worn that has been from the waist up. Otherwise, I am wearing a jacket tied over my waist. And there has been a video where I've come into frame wearing the Booster Gold outfit with that jacket tied.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. It's in the closet. I'm not putting it on, but I still got it.
This definitely,
it's fine.
This definitely sounds like the panel's coming to a close.
We still got another 30 minutes.
No, definitely. No. I didn't say anything about this being a full-length panel.
It's okay. I don't mind hanging out. If anyone has any questions, about any of the panels we did yesterday, any of the panels today, and just reflect on the weekend in general.
Final questions.
Or just have any kind of general things you want to ask the three of us about our respective channels. Why Drake is the only comic tuber that doesn't like wrestling, which there is actually a big crossover between comic fans and wrestling fans. That is true.
And
I know quite a few people in what I'm now going to describe as WrestleTube, that are also quite big comic fans. So I guess there is a crossover there.
Well, there also were wrestling comics. Maybe that could be an interesting
There are still
panel.
wrestling comics, whether or not I think Boom published the WWE comics. I know they did. I think they might still.
Do we want to get some WrestleTubers and do a wrestling comics retrospective panel?
Maybe it's something I could look into. I know I'm friendly with. This will appease like the two people watching this that watch wrestling videos. I've spoken a few times with Steve from Going in Raw. They're a really good wrestling podcast.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I agree. They're ex Machinima, if I remember correctly, and then they decided they were going to cover wrestling instead. And then
It's pronounced Ex Machina.
I love that movie. I didn't know they were in. I didn't know Steve was in that.
Well, you know, he played the dancing robot.
That makes so much sense. And then I know at least one of the guys from OSW Reviews watches my stuff because they've commented before. They're a very fun podcast about wrestling. Go and check out OSW Reviews. They have a segment in their show called What Bar, where they look at a different wrestler's attire or gear and work out what candy bar they look like.
Seriously?
I promise it's a lot funnier in action than it is when I describe it in my drab monotone voice.
That already sounds incredible.
But they're Irish, so it's extra charming.
Who's Mr. Goodbar?
I don't know. I'm not going to name Viscera at the 2006 Royal Rumble. There you go.
Okay, I know who that is.
Digital Jedi Master says, someone messaged me prior to this event asking me why they didn't see any announcements. I said it wasn't that kind of con. I can
mean-
announce that my video this week will be about unmade Halloween sequels.
Yeah, I just announced the Batman worst Batman villains, and then Tim Sheridan explained a lot about Red X. Yeah, man, we got
who they are.
Well, yeah, but like those are announcements. We announced a lot of giveaway winners.
What did he say? What was his response when he asked who Red
Go
X was?
scratch.
Go scratch,
What
like
if I
that
said once you left the call? What if I said Tim left me a hint?
bruh.
I would be lying.
It's true. I mean, it's not Jason Todd, so frankly, I don't care as much.
He was never Jason.
He was never Jason Todd.
But to be fair, Tim did specify that it's not the same Red Hood from the cartoon.
Yeah, it's not even the same. It's not even the person after the Red Hood from the
Yeah,
cartoon.
I like how he made it the fourth Red Hex. I appreciate that. We did learn that there's more Masters of the Universe coming. That is something that Tim revealed. So yeah, there was a big announcement.
We got announcements.
Yeah.
We're
I
a
can
real
announce-
con.
I'll announce that Drake, you can get D's. Let me get the soundboard up.
Hold on, pull it up.
It's gonna be a
Where's
good
it
joke.
gone? Where's it gone? Just read a chat or something.
I'm
There's
really
no more.
excited. I'm really excited that next year we're gonna have Wrong Dog show up.
What's wrong, dog?
Everything, bro.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, Drake, I'm happy to announce that you can get D's. Oh, the volume
I
was
didn't hear
low.
that.
Ah, the volume was too low. I don't care. It's going to be a fourth Joker. Yeah, why don't we do a panel where we all pitch who the fourth Joker should be? Because there was that great
What?
comic Three Jokers.
Mhm,
No,
mhm.
there
Remember Three Jokers?
that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, sure, it's not. Remember 5G?
Big
Yeah,
fan
but they teased Three Jokers like 4 years ago though.
Yeah, and then it came out and it wasn't that good. Then everyone forgot it happened.
No, when did it come out?
This is a bit.
Like over a year ago.
Did it?
Yeah,
This
Jeff
is a
Johns and
bit.
Gary Frank did it. It was
Just-
I refuse to believe that Three Jokers has ever come out. It's never coming out.
no, literally Three Jokers happened.
It
All three-
absolutely has not happened.
all 3 issues came out last year.
You're telling me there's 3 issues and 3
Uh-huh.
Jokers?
One for each
Yeah.
Joker.
Bullshit.
You really,
Bullshit.
I can't tell what if you're.
I-
Just following, like,
I would have heard of this.
This is stop it. End the
I-
joke.
I am
And the joke,
youtube.com/comic Drake. I have an 8 out of 10 knowledge of comic books as
How
based
kind
on the
of
panel.
scores?
It was in the opening panel, which was the highest score of everybody because everybody was I thought I was being modest, but no. Everybody said like, oh, I have a 6 out of 10. Like,
Oh,
fuck no.
I didn't
said-
decide who won the opening panel, the debate panel.
Here's a new
uh,
debate: did Three Jokers come out or not?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
I read it.
no,
I did
It
too.
was
It
that
ends
would have
with-
been news.
It ends with Jason Todd sticking a love note to Barbara Gordon's door, and then it falls
Yeah.
off because of the tape, and then it gets swept away.
that is a thing that happened.
Jason and Barbara would be a terrible couple.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Right. So nobody in their right mind would try to make that happen.
It was written by Jeff Johns.
That sounds likely.
Remember when Dr. Manhattan was behind the DC universe and then he wasn't? Good times.
Is he the third Joker?
That'd be great. Well, there
No
was a
one
theory
was
at one point that
Jokers.
people
They were
thought
just
one of them was going to
Jokers.
be the comedian.
Oh
They-
yeah.
They were
That
just
was-
jokers. There
that
was
was a- that
nothing
was a good
behind.
idea.
There was nothing more than that. They were just jokers, and then 2 of them died.
The real
Just,
Joker
just
was the friends
joking
made along
around.
the
Just
way.
joking around.
That's it. That's the end of the 3 jokers. There's a Joker.
I just remember in Rebirth that they made Three Jokers out to be a massive thing, and then it ended up not even being in continuity.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Good
what?
times. Yeah, Three Jokers isn't canon.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it was published as a black label.
And it also does.
No,
and
there-
it got
There's some
set
black
up.
labels are in canon though.
Not this
Yeah,
one.
that one wasn't.
It also did. It was originally set up by Batman getting the Mobius chair. You
Right.
know?
No, I read
And
all
then
that.
wasn't.
Yeah, I
and that
remember
wasn't
that.
referenced. That wasn't referenced at all in 3 Jokers. Didn't even matter. He was just
This-
like, yeah, I know.
See, this is how I know y'all are messing with me.
This is too dumb, and we're too coordinated for us to be messing with you.
You think we'd like plan the bit in advance, or we were going to trick you about Three Jokers?
Okay, to be entirely fair, my old roommate and I would always yes and each other with whatever random bullcrap that we said, and we had Dylan convinced that the reason that dwarves in Munchkin could hold 6 cards is because dwarves have 6 fingers in folklore. And also, we were playing Tricky Towers one time, and we've established that all wizards are architects. And Dylan he was mad, but because we kept yes-anding, he totally believed it for a few seconds.
Hang on, let's just address what's come up in the live chat. Mungie said Drake was quick to let the Owen diss of his old video go. What's this about?
Oh yeah, I made a viral video about the Joker being the comedian.
Oh, okay.
It was disproven, and it was bad. Honestly, I made that in 24 hours because my fiance at the time and I were like, what? Because we read the issue, like, what if it was the comedian? That'd be real dumb. Oh no,
we did read 3 Jokers.
No. We read DC.
No, you just said it.
You
just said it.
No, we read DC Rebirth.
I got you in. No, well, this is in 4K. This is more like 720p.
DC
but I got
Rebirth.
480p, Drake.
We went to a midnight release for DC Rebirth #1 in 2016 at my local comic shop. We were the only people there that didn't work there, and they tried to run a game of DC Werewolf, and it was really bad and awful. And then I worked at that store a year later, and then
please support your local comic book stores, everyone.
Yeah,
especially if they're independent stores. Please do go and support them. Buy a copy of 3 Jokers, ask if they've got them, and then send them to Drake.
Listen, we all know we've made some mistakes in our relationships in the past, but dragging her to a midnight release of DC Rebirth and DC Werewolf might be one of the more
at least it wasn't for the midnight release of Convergence.
Okay, but to be entirely fair,
like a decent story,
or Batman the Wedding.
Okay, but to be entirely fair though, that was her idea. She's the one that got me into comics.
That's tough.
Yeah,
she has a lot to answer for.
Honestly, yeah, she's created a monster.
I just can't believe that you didn't think 3 Jokers was real.
I still don't. That book is never going to come out.
This is like when I found volume 3 of Batman Earth 1 had actually came out, and then I read it last week, and it was,
That's about what I hear.
The books always look good. I love Gary Frank drawing Batman. It's something I don't get to see enough. So whenever they draw Batman, I always enjoy it. But then the rest of the book happens. So
Jeff Johns shouldn't be writing Batman.
What I will say about the volume 3 of Earth 1, you can very much tell that it's like going to be the end, because the last 5 pages introduce like every bit of Batman mythos. So obviously, like the main villain, I'm sure you're very familiar with the events of Batman Earth 1 volume 2.
Of course.
And the Dent twist where Harvey dies and Jessica Dent, his twin sister, becomes Two-Face, but her burnt side of her face is Harvey's consciousness. It's a great time. But she's the villain in volume 3, obviously. And then at the end, Batman beats her and stuff happens and she goes to Arkham or whatever. And then it jumps forward and like you're in the Bat family, you're in the Bat Cave, which is now like an underground train station, like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. Or like the train thing from Amazing Spider-Man 2, but bigger. And then like Bruce is there, Alfred's there, Killer Croc's there because he's part of the Bat family. But then you got like Ragman's there, Robin's there, Batgirl's there. And then it cuts to like another shot and it's like some guy getting like carjacked and it's the Joker.
Who was doing the carjacking? Jason Todd?
No, the Joker's the one doing the carjacking.
Oh,
but it looks like the old Joker from 3 Jokers, which is also drawn by Gary Frank and written by Jeff Johns.
Sorry, I thought that like it was Joker's
and like it ends on like a Charles Manson quote where like the Joker's like holding a gun to this guy and telling him to get out the car, and he's like, "Who are you?" And it's this like full page reveal of Joker, and he just says, "I am nobody." So sorry for spoiling the events of Batman Earth 1 Volume 3, guys.
Wonderful.
I heard Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 2's out. Came out recently. Go read that. The first volume is amazing.
Yeah, first volume's really good.
Because the Earth 1 books have kind of gone so far under the radar at DC, not enough people read the Green Lantern books, but they're genuinely incredible. So check them out. I'll probably make a video on them one day.
I heard that Grant Morrison Wonder Woman one's pretty solid.
It was. Volume 2 was okay, but Volume 1 was really good. I did a video a few years ago with Laurent where we looked at how Morrison like reinvented the Golden Age Wonder Woman in a really interesting way. One of the things that me and Laurent touched on in that video was actually they changed the race of Steve Trevor to make him African American, and it completely recontextualizes the idea of like enslavement and the bondage subtext from the Golden Age Wonder Woman by having Steve on the island. It was a really interesting way of reframing that. I thought it's a fun book.
Yeah, the
Superman Earth one's also a thing. JMS wrote that. It's like Man of Steel, but in a comic.
I'm glad you read them, so I didn't have to.
I think I've got Superman Earth one. I've at least got the first 2 volumes.
I had them once upon a time. I had to get rid of a lot of comics, and then I bought them all again.
There's also a Titans Earth one that's
Wait, there is?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Huh. I didn't know that came out.
It's barely even the Teen Titans.
So it was the New 52 Teen Titans.
No, it feels more like Runaways.
Okay. Now that's a good pitch. I love the Runaways.
And like I think Deathstroke's like one of those, just like one of the Titans' dad. And obviously I know that like Jericho is the son of Deathstroke, but he's not characterized like Deathstroke the Terminator. He's just like someone's dad in a mech suit. Fun times.
So even though it's like the Runaways, it's not good, or is it like a decent book, just not Teen Titans?
I didn't enjoy it, but
Okay.
that's not. You might enjoy it. I read it when I did my kind of retrospective on the Earth One series, and it didn't do much for me.
Are y'all reading the current Runaways series? It's probably one of the best things Marvel's putting out right now.
Drake, I don't read any comics published after 1990, so
that's true. We have discussed this.
Ultimate X-Men published after 1990.
Yeah, the only things I read after the turn of the
fair.
century are Ultimate Comics, so and they don't even make those anymore.
Thank God.
Marvel. When are Marvel going to pick me up and let me write a 12-issue series of Fantastic Four? I can bring the Maker back.
The Maker back. He's in Venom.
Not anymore. He's not.
Well, he went back to the Ultimate Universe at the end.
And everything's on
Donny
fire.
Cates,
I don't want to see that.
Donny Cates is gonna.
Why did they have to undo Bendis' happy ending from Spider-Man 2? Where the Ultimate Universe is fine. Everyone's having a good time. Like Bendis goes to DC and then
there's no such thing
on fire.
There's no such thing as Spider-Man 2. That was never published. I would know if Spider-Man.
Excuse me. Do you not
Spider-Man
remember
2
the
published.
evil 616 Miles Morales?
That's not a thing.
Okay. Is that like how 3 Jokers isn't a thing?
It's not a thing.
So
Look,
we've been
even
accused,
Munchie.
we've been accused, of making a fake Wikipedia page for
It's true.
Make a video, Drake, called the 3 Jokers Mandela Effect.
Next thing you're gonna say, it's Kazam.
It is
with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
I think that this is the perfect way to wrap up right here. This is wonderful.
I can't believe the last things we said in At Home Comic Con was Shaquille O'Neal. I didn't see that coming. But...
And with that, everyone, Shaquille O'Neal on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Shaquille O'Neal. Man, that got me into Shaquille O'Feels.
Remember when he wrestled Cody on AEW, Matt?
I'm sorry, he's a wrestler too?
No, he's had like a couple of matches. He had a spot in a battle royal with Big Show once, and then he had a random match in AEW against Cody.
Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, of course.
Yeah. So see the long cape he had.
He did. He was doing the Homelander thing.
Yeah, but he's a good guy, even though he keeps dressing like Homelander.
He doesn't know anything.
Michael Jordan had a cape, and he wrestled.
Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. When he's not playing b-ball with the Toon Squad.
Okay.
No, it's LeBron James, star of Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yeah, I was about to say, did LeBron also
the
wrestle?
longest HBO Max commercial I've ever seen. I will say there was one funny moment in that pretty terrible film, and it's at halftime when Don Cheadle and his gang of evil people are winning the basketball game. Daffy Duck, not Donald Duck. That's right. It's Daffy Duck. Comes in. It's like, guys, it's okay. I found Michael Jordan, and then in walks Michael B. Jordan, and he just looks really confused. Then he leaves.
I did hear about that joke. That
was actually like I got like maybe not so much a visible laugh, but I like breathed out my nose, and that's the most I got from.
That's good. The hard nose exhale.
Just a good.
Well, also with Matt with your baby, that sounds like it's another good segue to end the panel.
I have a small someone that I have to go take care of.
Man, how dare you be a good dad?
Wait, no, I'm doing fine, Matt. What are you talking about?
This is why you don't have custody of me.
I try and get it back with the ladder match.
Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us both for this chill kind of closing stream, and also joining us for At Home Comic Con too. It's been a real pleasure to hang out with you all for the last 2 days, raise a ton of money ton of money for charity, and get to kind of showcase some of the best people in our kind of shared space on the internet. Drake, Matt, I don't know if you want to plug anything on your way out. But
yeah, I mean, youtube.com/comic Drake. But honestly, though, Project Hope, please, we could use the donations. It would be fantastic. It all, like, money never touches our hands. It just goes straight to the charity. We are going to keep the donation link going for a couple more days. So if you want to do some regular donations, feel free. Also, if you missed any of the panels and you want to see them, we have everything uploaded right to the At Home Comic Con YouTube. Fantastic show all around this year. So please, if any of the panels look interesting on the schedule, go ahead and watch them. And also leave a subscription if you can, a follow on Twitch. And whenever we do At Home Comic Con 2022, you'll get instant notifications. Also, At Home Comic Con on Twitter as well, where we'll be posting some highlights and other stuff as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.